This is your Fast Life Motorcycle channel. Yay, yay! So this is the fruits of my labor. The Ninja 250 R 2005. I just installed my first chain, and I'm proud of myself. It was a little bit difficult. I haven't done any mechanical work in quite a few years, so this was an interesting journey getting back into it. But as you can see, I replaced the front sprocket, and to take this sprocket out, just FYI, you got these two bolts here, which if you have it in gear, or you can press the back brake down with the wheel in, not with the wheel out, otherwise it's gonna be a problem. It'll stop this from turning, so you can get your socket wrench and you can just loosen that out. Once you pull those bolts out, then that ring, the outer ring, comes out. You got to line it up with, see the little gear in the middle? You got to line it up, the teeth with the ring's teeth, right? It's kind of tricky. It looks much easier than it is, but just keep spinning it around and pulling it until you get it and get it right out. So, and that's pretty much it. Bolts out, ring out, and then obviously chain off. To get the chain off, you have to break the chain using a chain breaker tool, which I did, and then you can go ahead and pull that right out. So front sprocket replaced, there's a new chain in there. And the trickiest thing for me was putting the wheel back on. I mean, that wasn't the only thing. There's a box that covers this section here, and I took out all the bolts and it just wouldn't come out. I had to really force that thing out to get it out. The gear assembly was also tricky as well. Getting this out, it's like I had it completely loose. You're supposed to pull it off of this, and just a little bit of elbow grease. It wasn't too tricky, but a little tricky. And then the wheel, man, because when you're putting the wheel back on, you've got a couple of tasks that you need to accomplish. So while you're trying to put the wheel back on, you've got this spacer right there that keeps falling out, because it's not held in by anything at that point. The bolt's not through it, right? The axle bolt's not in there, so it's free to drop out at any point in time. So you're trying to line up this side of the wheel with the hole where the axle bolt's going to go, without the spacer falling out. Good luck with that. Meanwhile, on this side, you're trying to get the brakes on top of the disc to line it up properly. At the same time, you have, I don't know if I can show it to you, you have the lower part of the brake assembly. See right here? You're trying to keep that lined up with another spacer that may fall out. It doesn't fall out as much as the other one on the other side, but you got that spacer in there. You're trying to line this up. You're trying to line up the disc. Little tricky. And then you got these adjusters back here, which have their own little challenge as well. So this is how you adjust your chain. You use this little guy back here, which is only held by the axle bolt. Without the axle bolt, it'll actually just fall right down, right? This piece will just hang down there, right? The other challenge was trying to relink the new chain. I found that I couldn't get the ends to meet, so I was actually afraid that the chain was actually the wrong size. But then I realized that pushing the wheel forward alone, pushing it all the way forward to slack the chain as much as possible is not enough. You also have to adjust the chain adjuster down there. See the chain adjuster? I don't know, I can't zoom in. So there's the chain adjuster. So you've got to also loosen that out so that you'll be able to push the wheel even more forward. Once you do that, you'll be able to get the chain on. But even doing that, the chain was still pretty tight. So I didn't have a lot of play, and I was trying to attach it here. So at this point, so what I found is that it's actually easier to attach it back here in the middle of it, as opposed to close to the sprocket for some reason. So when I did that, I was able to attach it. However, you can see the link that I did. There she blows. So that's the link that I actually did. basically using a chain breaker tool to press the pins through. So you see that plate right here, there's one in the back that has pins attached to it, and use the chain breaker tool to push through the front plate. To the front plate, you push it right through, and that's what you're seeing right now. So these pins that are sticking out to the gold rings are attached to the back plate. The front plate was loose. So you put the front plate on top of the 2 pins here, and then you press it down. So what do you guys think about my work? Is this chain gonna fall apart on the highway and make for a very, very bad day? There's a better view, perhaps, over the top. So you can see the back piece there a little bit. That's as much as I can get back there. Let's see. There we go. Sort of, not really. So I would say, all in all, basically breaking and reattaching the chain was not really that difficult. In fact, I feel like I could almost do it without the instructions soon. Maybe not right away, but I think this will be pretty much a procedure that I'll be able to do comfortably without having to follow the step-by-step instructions anymore, because I think it's that easy. Anyway, this is your Fast Life Motorcycle channel. This is part of the DB365-19 project, 365 days until my dream bike. Actually, hashtag 365DB19, 365 days to dream bike in 2019. So in the next 12 months, I'm going to be buying 6 figures worth of bikes, probably 12 to 14 bikes. And at the end of the journey, I'm going to be picking out my dream bike based on what I learn of this journey of, buying various bikes, trying out bikes that I may have never normally thought about buying. I want to expand my horizons a little bit, try something different. And at the end of this series, I'm going to figure out what my ultimate dream bike is. I know many of you guys probably think you know what it is, but what I consider a dream bike now versus, 12 months from now might be a different story. Anyway, this is your Fast Life Motorcycle channel, and stay tuned for the series. This is a notification only channel. Everyone who subscribes, click on the bell, the notification icon, because this channel does not send out notifications. I'm not a full-time YouTuber. I do this as whatever time I have to do it. I have a very busy schedule, so because of that, YouTube is not notifying anyone when I post videos. So if you subscribe, it's kind of pointless, right? The only people that are going to get notified are people who click on the bell. So click on the bell, otherwise what's the point of subscribing? Anyway, it's your Fast Life Motorcycle channel, most awesome motorcycle channel in the universe. Yay, yay!